we'll start with the silver fern on your uniforms. Quite a surprise that you brought it up, but just for our viewers at home, let them know what your concern was this morning.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, I believe it was the All Blacks or the Rugby Union, whoever represents them, who have the silver fern trademarked, have contacted the UFC and said that they're not happy with us wearing the silver fern on our uniform. The UFC have then contacted me and said, hey, look, Eugene, we need to change this symbol. And they've been a bit nonchalant about it because the UFC haven't understood how much that symbol means to them, means to us. So I've come back to them and said, absolutely no, like we're a team, we're an international team and we're representing our country just like any other international sports team. They get to wear the silver fern. And this was several weeks ago, and just prior to this press conference, this issue had not been resolved. So I took that as a no, we're not going to be able to wear the silver fern. But look, we're absolutely going to wear the silver fern, even if we have to wear an old uniform that we walked out from last time. The silver fern should not be denied from any New Zealander or anybody for that matter being able to wear that. It should be able to be worn on all occasions and all, especially sporting and international sports occasions, and that's all that's our concern.
Listening to you talk about it, you're very passionate. I mean, the silver fern is more than just a logo, it's more than something that's printed on a jersey. What does it mean to you?
Well, it's our symbol of national pride. It's what I grew up. I'm from a family that grew up waking up at 3 in the morning to watch the All Blacks play South Africa and watch the 1987 World Cup, watch David Kirk hoist the World Cup. You know, the silver fern is a big part of those childhood memories and growing up and being in New Zealand, whether it be league, netball, hockey, doesn't matter what it is. It is our national symbol of pride, especially when it comes to international sporting teams. We consider ourselves an international sports team, and we consider ourselves, you know, we're very proud of our roots. We're very proud to be Kiwis, and we're very proud to go out there and represent people that are proud of what we're doing. And that's what that silver fern represents to us. So to have that taken away and replaced by something, because the All Blacks have a problem with it because it resembles their silver fern too much, for us that's for me that's disturbing, and yeah, I can't agree with that, I'm afraid.
Would you be open to maybe having a cordial with them about it should the opportunity arise?
Yeah, absolutely, but you know, like, I understand this is big business and I've approached the UFC, but it definitely would have been better to talk to the people who are directly on the firing line in terms of this issue. But none of them tried to contact me or any other managers that are associated with me. They went straight to the UFC. But look, I've made I've obviously let you guys know my opinion and the boys' opinion, and I've also let the UFC know that, and hopefully there's a resolution to this issue before fight time. Otherwise there's going to be problems.
Well, I'm guessing it won't be the last that we hear about it, but do hope that it is resolved, because it is such a huge deal, and it is a huge deal, especially this time around. Going over to Las Vegas, setting history again, with Izzy going up to light heavy, and of course with Kai and Carlos making his debut as well. How has camp been this time around, with Carlos included in that team that's going into battle?
Pretty awesome, actually. Carlos has been a part of camps, training for King in the Ring and other fights, but everything's a little different when it's like playing Super Rugby and then all of a sudden you're put under Test match level and you're playing the Wallabies for the Bledisloe Cup. It's a different level you have to reach, it's a different level you have to find, and he's found that. There's that extra enthusiasm, extra excitement, extra energy he's had to find to boost him up to this level of competition has been contagious, and it's picked up the other guys who this is a little bit more, a little bit more monotonous. Well, they see Carlos who's going through it for the first time, kind of like stirs you on and remembers, that's what I used to be like a few years ago. Yeah, so it's been good. It's been good having him around for this camp.
Do you have to, like, does he ask many questions about, I mean, I know he's been to, the fights before, but he's never been, the person walking out and the one putting in the guard and walking into the cage. Do you have to, like, kind of prepare him for that?
Yeah, well, like what I've noticed with my team is they talk about that amongst themselves a lot. I'm not privy to the conversations, but as I'm passing by, I definitely hear them talking about how to calm their nerves, what it's like when you walk out, what it's like when there's someone like abusing you who's a fan, and what it's, they go through the whole thing, and they kind of mentally prepare each other in that way. So I don't expect Carlos to have a problem. He's got some pretty good guys to lean on who have been in some big fights. But the other thing is, people have to remember, and this is very similar to Israel and Brad a little bit. We were lucky enough to fight and have contracts in China. And the thing about the Chinese fight scene is people don't understand is that when you go to shows there, sometimes there's 30,000 people at these shows. And and Carlos was fighting in front of 10, 15, 20,000 people already in some of these Chinese shows. To have that experience under your belt, to have that much energy around you and that much people cheering you, to having already experienced that, it's definitely going to help him when he gets into this sort of stage. Yeah, absolutely.
And not to mention all the experience around him as well.
Yep.
With this fight with Israel, it's fascinating to know that he's going to go up against, I mean, we've seen Jan fight in the past, but, the unknown of the division. What are you expecting that Jan will bring to this fight?
Look, I'm expecting Jan to be very confident about his size advantage, and through that confidence in his size advantage and that through that confidence, through that physicality that he's going to be able to bring, I expect him to be very aggressive, more aggressive than any of his previous opponents, Israel's previous opponents. And I expect him to come forward and really try and close that gap and make a really big effort, and perhaps even be prepared to test himself, test his ability to take what Israel can give him, to get inside and get close to Israel and start either grappling or landing some punches. I expect him to test himself more than Israel's previous opponents have been willing to, and he's going to do that because I believe he just thinks he's a much more bigger and physical man.
Izzy has a lot of his success by, keeping that distance and, using his reach to his advantage. Is that, kind of the same plan going in?
Israel's just going to have a reach and a height advantage in this fight, but he's definitely going to be the smaller man. So, look, we're definitely going to stick to what we're good at. We're going to stick to what we're good at, but there could be a few surprises that we throw in there. There could be a few surprises. There could be a few surprises that we've had lined up for someone that is willing to risk the biscuit, that's someone that is willing to come forward ultra aggressively, that we've practiced since day one, since we thought this is how these UFC fighters, opponents would react. There's some stuff there that we've just never been able to use, because at the end of the day, everybody comes up against Israel. They feel his power a little bit, and it makes them very apprehensive to commit to their game plan of coming forward and rushing forward. So there's some stuff there that we've been working on for years that we hope to pull out of the hat if Jan puts himself in a vulnerable position.
And you're pretty confident that he will do that, so we can expect to see some...
I think Jan's going to be the guy. Paulo Costa took the big game up and ended up doing relatively nothing. Look, I believe Jan's going to be the guy who's... I think that Polish heart and that Polish determination is going to drive him to stick to his game plan and be aggressive.
Izzy is the favourite for the fight. People are saying Jan hasn't really been given a chance against, and listening to the experts talking and other fighters, they are all backing Izzy at this stage, and he's coming up. What do you think that's a testament to in terms of Izzy's career so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to Izzy's charisma and his popularity, but let me be honest, like most of the people that swing those odds don't know what they're talking about. That has something to do with it, and that's not how we're approaching it. well, I believe we're the underdog as far as I'm concerned, and that's the way I've always talked to Israel about it, and that's the way the team is approaching it. We are definitely the underdog. We're a smaller human being coming up to fight a much bigger human being. There's a lot of adversity to get to overcome there. How can we possibly be in an advantage in that situation? Of course, there's a school of thought that thinks the skill wise and certain other, certain other like physical attributes we believe we have a bit of a breach, a bit of endurance, but for the most part, yeah, we're coming up. Like we're treating ourselves as underdogs. Like, yeah, you ask anybody in fighting, they don't want to fight someone who's way bigger than them. Nah, yeah.
For viewers at home that may not understand what this moment actually means, not only for the UFC but New Zealand MMA as well, what does this mean for Izzy to be fighting for a title in another division as a champion already?
Look, for Israel to first of all get to the point where he's put himself in a position to even have this opportunity is absolutely amazing and a historic feat in itself. When he wins it, he is gonna occupy some space there that only the very, very greatest fighters on this planet occupy. There's only a very small, astute list of people that have won 2 titles in 2 different weight divisions, and he will become a part of that, and he will etch that into history forever. And to think about that, and to think about that that could possibly get achieved is like mind blowing, amazing. Yeah.
Everyone's flying out on Sunday, I believe, to head over.
Yes.
So what happens from now until then?
Look, the second to last week before you fly is always the most important week, so we still have a couple of really hard trainings. We still have one more sparring session. Our last sparring session is always very important, and we have one more of the infamous spider sessions, which is on Sunday at the same time we fight. And we also have a junior Fars fight, so and Hunia here and Panuvi who are fighting on that, so we'll all be there supporting them. So it's going to be quite a big last few days for the camp and for the boys. But we're used to this now. We're used to this. It's been a few years. We've got some experience in these big weeks and big weekends. So yeah, a couple more hard workouts, and then we're in fight week. And then once we're in fight week, we're good. We're chilling. We're relaxing until the fight, and then all the hard work's done, except for that last 25 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah.
Well, all the very best. I know Aotearoa will be watching.
Cool. Thank you very much, and thank you for all your support. Silver Fern, no Silver Fern, we still represent our country to the fullest with absolute proudness. Thank you very much.